All right. Well, hey, everybody, TG Watkins. For those of you out there on the social media, YouTube, Facebook, X, we're actually been watching. We've been on the mic for an hour and a half this morning, kind of watching this market breakdown. So I haven't gotten off the mic yet. Just wanted to fill you guys in to where we are. We exited, we cashed in profits on a lot of our long trades. So we took the bounce, and then we took a long put trade, and so far it's kind of been working. We've at least gotten all the action that we've been looking for. I'm kind of gamma and gex, so gamma exposure is telling us that 5740 is what we should be looking for as far as kind of where the SPX should go to. Right now it bounced off, it's kind of bouncing off around 5745, and so our trade is still kind of neutral. And I'm just going to see if we can, if I don't know if this is it or if we're going to actually get down to 5740. It's been a little challenging as far as trying to get this down because it's been, just it's kind of run into some stuff. But as far as what I have been talking about and guiding the Moxie traders and Moxie subscribers to, we did get this bear flag. So what we were looking at is we kind of had our first whoosh down and then we bounced, but it was a bear flag. And I said, watch for the 5-minute 21 and the 2-minute 50. And I said, watch for those to be resistance. And sure enough, they were, and it broke down. And now we're just trying to see if this thing wants to go a little bit further to the downside. We did have that other whoosh right there, and then we bounced. And I'm trying to see if we can actually make it down to 5740 today. So giving this just a little bit more time because it is a down market for today. The internals are negative, they're bearish, and it's kind of been a little bouncy, but each of these bounces has resolved to the downside. So, kind of like this, bounce, 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 bounce. And we'll see if we can get a little bit more something to the downside, and then we can kind of cash that thing in. Let me see where we're at on that one. Yeah, it's still about neutral, aren't we? So let's see if we get one more little something down. Yeah, let's see the hedge wall 5750. That's if we come over here and we look at this. Yeah, hedge wall. I feel like we've gotten past it. That's where we said that it had bounced right there and bounced right there. And now I want to see if we can kind of get just a little bit lower down to where these major gamma exposures are. If not, maybe I just need to say, meh, maybe it's not going to really do it. And we just kind of call it a scratch trade. I think we made like 15 cents, something like that. But it does seem like it's still kind of coming down here. Again, the internals are still negative, still weak. And yeah, I just want to see if we can get a little bit more to the downside here because it is coming down. You can see on the 2-minute, it came down, bounced to the 2-minute 8, and then can we get more, or is this it? Let me double check and make sure everybody's good over in social media land. Yeah, it looks like we're okay, and yeah, I think the volume is on and through there. So yeah, if we can continue to follow the 8, that drop right here was because that's where it broke the 5-minute 50. So it was a level of support that either computers or traders were looking at. That 5-minute 200 was support, and when it broke the support, you get the big whoosh. Well, that whoosh caused price to get a little too oversold on the 2-minute, and that's why it bounced. And that's kind of where we're trying to figure out, is this going to be yet again another bear flag as we go a little bit lower here also. So as I said, every time we got a little too oversold on the 2-minute, we bounced back up, but they kept being bear flags and they continued to move lower. And so that's what I want to see, if we can get just another little something a little bit lower, and if we can actually hit the 5740, or if this is just going to be all that we get for the day. And if we look, oh yeah, okay. Well, baby, let's take this out. Let's just kind of get what we can. Let's see. So let's do this exit alert. SPX put debit spread. Let's see, exiting. I'm seeing about 3. Gosh, it looks like it wants to kind of go See if we can get just a little bit more out of this thing. How's the Yeah, I don't like seeing those ticks kind of pop up like that, but we are kind of getting, it does look like it wants to be guided down by that 2 minute, the 2 minute eight. Can we get just a little bit more? Exiting at, it's like watching paint dry, isn't it? This is also sometimes the agonizing thing about day trading. You're watching every minute because you're like, oh, come on, just hit my target. Just do the thing that we want it to do. But yeah, and kind of what I'm wondering is 5740 happens to right now be at the 5 minute 30 ATR, and that's what I want to see. Also, the 5740 is about the hourly 21, and that's another kind of common area that I would be looking for. But yeah, this has been uh, just not exactly fast to the downside. And if we can kind of just wrap this up, is it going to go or is it not going to go? Let's see what this. I was kind of hoping to get over $4 for this thing. We're hovering right at about 385. Yeah, I might just take it. Let's do 385. And if it goes more, then great. But yeah, we'll see. It's kind of that agonizing thing. Like, does it work? Does it not work? You can see, look at this right at that line. Look at that. You can see right there. It's still just kind of dealing with it. All right. Well, yeah, thanks, Yashin. So let's kind of go. Let's look at this. Everything's still generally heavy. That's why I wanted to see if we could just kind of get down here to the 57, 40-ish area right there. And let's see, what was the thing I was going to show to the social media folks? So something like SMH. A lot of things this morning, they had big drops already. So like, look at this. SMH really just kind of had the bottom fall out very early this morning. Still very heavy, but most of the move has already occurred. And then I think FNGA was doing the same thing. And you could see this was another reason why I'm kind of like, I don't know if this is really the S&P is gonna go that much further down, because it looks like something like the Nasdaq and FNGA, basically the same thing. They had their big moves this morning. Yes, they bounced, and then we're just trying to catch a little bit more weakness here from that bounce. But they kind of look like they might be happy with where they're at, and that's why I'm in the back of my mind. I'm kind of thinking, I don't know if the S&P is really going to go that much lower, because here these are at areas where they may not want to go much lower for the day. And so I'm trying to kind of play that balance between the two. And if we look at the SPX as we zoom out in through here, yeah, you can see, because they're moving averages. So of course, the 21 is moving a little bit, but for all intents and purposes, it looked like it's tapped it. And like I told you guys in the Moxie room, you come down, you hit the 21, we might bounce a little bit, and then I want to see if we actually go lower like that the next day or two. And if I'm wrong, then great. If I'm wrong, then actually we don't go down. We flag and then we continue higher. I'd love to see higher. Most of our stuff is geared right now to go higher, but given all these patterns that I see, and this was kind of the first move up. Usually, then you kind of rest a little bit, and then we see if we can get another move up like that. And let's see kind of what's going on over here. Yeah, it's just kind of hanging out here, and that would make the put stall out. So we'll see. What is it at now? Yeah, 390. We got out of 385. As I said, I was kind of hoping we can get a nice pop over 4. We did get, I think, about $4.20 right there, but I was really kind of hoping to get down to 57.40, and that would have been That would be a nice move. We'll see if it goes. It was a little too, it was too thin for me. We already kind of handled a bunch of stuff. Yeah, thanks, Yashin. So that's kind of what I was looking at too. Is most everything I see is still heavy. You know, most things are heavy, but trading these zero DTs can be kind of squirrely, especially when today just it looks like it just doesn't feel like it wanted to get that much lower. Kind of low, bounce, and so we had to be right on. And yeah, so there you go. It is coming down to the 8. Okay, now we're kind of moving along. Okay, so now that call is about 420, so making a few more bucks. And so maybe we'll just kind of come back and keep checking on this thing. Uh, Other than that, oh, we got some people chatting. Hey, brighter side, good to see you. Sorry, I didn't have the chat on. Let's see. Seems like we're at the arch of the foot on the SPX. Nailed it, dude. Yep, you're exactly right. That is exactly what we've been talking about. So for us, we had quite a few trades on in through this area. Like we put on a put credit spread, a longer dated one, back through here, and we just exited this morning for plus 50%. So that's nice. And then we also put on a call debit spread on the SPY. I kind of forget where we put it. I don't know if we put it over here or something like that. And we just exited that for plus 35-ish%, something around there. So pretty decent. Because basically this is what I was looking for, the first kind of move up to around the 21. And as you said, that is the arch of the foot. Now, brighter side, remember, we don't quite know if this market is going to be bullish or bearish yet. So we could continue to move up a little further. What I'm looking for is if we come down like this, we test the low area, and then if we actually come up, and then maybe if we roll over, that's a possibility. I am not entirely sure that if we come down, if we're going to keep going down. I don't know if the market's quite ready to do that. It could. That's what we need to watch out for. But yeah, right now, here's our first move. Now we got to see about the retest. And then that's the question. If I can draw that better there. And that's the question is, does this retest go higher or do we roll over later, lower? Okay. Yeah. Looks like we are coming down a little bit. There you go. Yeah. Finally breaking that level on our way to 57.40. The put debit spread now is looking like about $4.50. So we're almost, actually, we would have been over $1 profitable. I don't know. I was just getting a little bit nervous in through here. We already handled a couple bumps. Rather turn in a win at least. All right, let's see. Andy, do I follow IYT? No, not specifically. I got other tickers like that I look at. I usually just I look at small caps and stuff like that. IYT. You can look at Tran. I think it's TRAN or Trans TRAN. I think it is. I think this is the other ETF, Nasdaq Transportation. That's another one to look at. Yeah, sometimes sometimes you look at it to kind of see what's up. I was aware that it was doing well a while ago. And again, this looks very much like the IWM. If you look at the Russell, you can see that it ran right into the daily 50 the same way that the IWM did. And what I was looking for, and then this is where we went to cash. So what I was looking for is, at the time, basically lows kept getting bought up. You can see there's your double bottom. There's your double bottom. And what I wanted to see, because it wasn't quite conclusive if this thing was going to roll over and die like it did, or if it was actually holding up pretty well and maybe we actually get a move to the upside. So what I wanted to see was price going to be able to get past the daily 50, and was the Moxie indicator going to go green and up and double bottom, And I was going to say, hey, let me zoom in on this one because this is really pretty important. And I said, hey, is price going to get over the hourly 50 and then follow the hourly 50? If all that happened, then great. We got the market going up. But here was the thing, that when that did not happen, I said, okay, I am now confirmed to the downside. And this is bad because we've been watching this for a while and there was a big decision to be made. And then I said, okay, we're getting out. We're going to cash, because I said the thing I was concerned about just now happened. So look here, you got your double bottom, you get over the hourly 50, you get your Moxie price trigger, and then where price should have stayed over the 50, it did not. And where price should have stayed over the daily 50 and with the 8 over the 21 and all that kind of stuff, it did not. That was my kind of do or die situation. And so I was looking bullish, bullish, bullish. And then when it should have gone up like that and it went down, I was like, nope, that's not good. Let's go to cash. So yeah, the Tran and IWM look basically the same. Yeah, look at that. Daily chart, hourly chart, practically identical. All right, so Java Mocha Frap, nice. Okay, nice screen name. We got in a little bit early on that put debit spread this morning. I was trying to get it right there. What I really wanted to do was sell a call credit spread up here, but I was busy cashing in our Tesla trade. Well, we just cashed in Tesla yesterday. We cashed in FNGA. We cashed in APPS. We cashed in to both of our SPX option trades. And so those are good. We cashed those in. And so I missed right there. I missed the call credit spread. And then I couldn't tell right here. It looked like, okay, it looked like a bear flag, which it was. And that bear flag did come down, but then the market got some buoyancy and came up and did this right here and then came down. And that's kind of what we've been watching. So yeah, there we go, right there, 57.40. What is that? What does that come out to? Yeah, $5.20, $5.40. Yeah, that would have been a decent trade. Let me do what was the math on that? We got in at 330 and say 530. Yeah, 60%. What'd I say, guys? I was looking for a 60% gain on that. Yeah, should have some more cojones on that one. But there you go. We finally hit the 59.40 and got that would have been the 60% gain real quick. There you go. Okay, well, talk the talk, need to walk the walk. So yeah, Java, that's why I was a little bit behind the curve, because we put on the put debit spread right there and we had to handle some heat as the market bear flagged up in here. But I've seen this pattern before. I've seen this, and you can see here that it did perfectly get rejected by the 2-minute 50. It also perfectly got rejected by the 5-minute 50. In fact, what I can do, let me show you this. Maybe I'll save this someplace. Right here. This is what I was guiding everybody for. And I said, so for the 0 DTE put debit spread, we were watching it still for the bear flag, running into the 2-minute 50 and the 5-minute 21. So there's the 2-minute 50 right there. And I said, if it can break the 5-minute 200 and head to the 57.40, we'll exit at whatever that gives us. And then you can see here, we broke the 5-minute 200. We came down, we got another little bounce. I'm like, oh boy. And okay, so now we're here at 57.40 and we're going a little bit beyond. So, and Yashan, yeah, the gamma lines were good as far as the order flow and calling that. Let's look at what that looked like over here. So we continue to see order flow still down, heavy negative. And yeah, now you can see that we're kind of heading down to that area right there. And then GEXBot, there you go, 57.40 right there. And actually, I guess we're a little bit heavier. So yeah, a little beyond. Yeah, that would have been a nice one. What are we up to? Gosh, yeah, 630. Let's see, what kind of math would that be? Oh, 90%. Yeah, that would have been up to 90%. Man, that would have been nice to have. Oh well, at least I got the setup right. Made a few bucks. And yeah, at least got all this correct. Okay, let's see. So RR, yeah, brighter side. I've seen this. We've been keeping an eye on it. It was good first move right there. There's your first move. But at this point, it's coming up here. It's right into kind of this previous price congestion area and third ATR. So I would be watching for a more significant pullback and what to do about that. So as I said, I think this is the first move. You got the bounce, and now you need to be careful in through here. And then, yeah, Para, we actually, funny enough, we actually did talk about this, I think, yesterday. It's just something to talk about. I don't know if there's actually going to be anything to do with it, but it does look like it's trying to turn. And then brighter side, if you're looking at Para, you might look at WBD, Warner Brothers, because you can see here it's kind of doing the same thing. It's looking a little bit stronger. Looks like it's trying to do something through there. So yeah. All right, let me go back to the SPX and then we can kind of wrap up and through here. And for those of you in the social medias, I do actually have a webinar today. Maybe I can talk about this trade that we took today and just generally the market, since we are getting a lot of action. And that's kind of what I've been talking about is, what's going on with the market? Why is it doing this? What's happening? What can we expect? And I would say so far we're pretty much on it. We managed to catch the low. We got the bounce. We took off some trades. We took some profits. We did try a short trade today, made a few bucks, could have made more, but I was right about the setup. So we got that. And now we just kind of have to wait and see where the market wants to go after that. And this is a free webinar tonight. If you guys want to come check it out, it's going to be at 7 o'clock Central. I'll be showing you guys the really great trades that we had leading up to this and how I more than doubled my stock trading account in basically 4 or 5 months at the end of 2024. So, when the market's great, we can make big gains pretty quickly. And then now that the market has totally changed, what we're doing as far as our strategy, how we're then day trading, and also taking some of these short-term trades and really narrowing our focus using some of these leveraged ETFs like the FNGA and TSLL. TSLL, we traded that one and we actually exited half of it yesterday for all the same reasons that, I think the market's pulling back today. And it was about 36%. Yeah, about 36, 37% that we got yesterday. Fantastic. So, that was really good. We got that. And brighter side, you see the reason? I know you do. And so now we have to see if we get a pullback and if this is going to be viable. I would still like to lean towards this being viable, most because I think that the things like Tesla are so oversold. I do want to see if they can come down and we get a little bit more upside. So kind of like you saw RR, can we get back up to the daily third ATR? Because if we can get back to the daily third ATR, then I think we're looking good. Boy, let me see this market heading down real quick. So much for the 21 being support. Look at that thing blowing right through the 21. We're now at 57.27. So yeah, we're getting that pullback. And what I'm looking for is we have this box right here. That's a gap. And I'm kind of thinking, yeah, so Java Mocha Frap, I don't exactly know where we're going to go today. I was kind of looking at the hourly 21 initially because that's where all of the gamma was. And of course, that can change because big traders can be wrong too. And it seems like maybe we're going to go to the top of the gap. Maybe. But we're already here at the outside of the third ATR on the 15. So I kind of feel like for today, maybe we kind of go this far. We'll have to see. But then ultimately, I'm looking for big picture to come down to probably the hourly 50, which I think would be the bottom of this gap. So, kind of in this area, if we can do that, and then we see if we can go higher from there. I don't know if we're going to go higher. It's just something I'm looking for. But we have to take these twists and turns first. And we really did a pretty good job doing all that. So we managed to catch the low. We got out at the top. We took a short trade. And now we kind of see where things go. Yeah, that would have been a nice one to hang on to. We're up to like 7:30. Jeez. Yeah. Yeah, Trader B, you and I were thinking the same thing, for sure. So we took action on it, and that action was proper and appropriate. So yeah, we did a good job. So okay, now you're thinking would head down to 56.60. I feel like does that number I mentioned? Yeah, 56. Yeah, I think I mentioned 56.60, 56.70 this morning when I was on the mic, and that's because that is where the gap is. So let's see, 56. Let's just kind of try. I'll just put a line there as kind of a general target. We'll see. Maybe we'll make it what color? We'll do that color. And we'll thicken it up so we know it's different. We'll see if we hit that. All right. Brighter said another thing too is that the daily Moxie has no divergence setup. Another reason I think the thing is rolling over. Yeah, but it's the Moxie indicator on the daily chart is slower, and we just aren't in any. Of course, there's no divergence here. Like we're so far from a setup that we're just not going to see that show up yet. All this kind of action, at least for Moxie, is really going to be on the 15 and the hourly and stuff like that. Because even if we look back here, notice we didn't really get divergence. So you can see here that just turned and that just turned. The only real divergence we kind of got was this one right here. So that's why we're not. I really don't think we're going to be seeing divergence on the daily. Because even here you can see it just turned. There was some here. But yeah, this is also just telling me that we're very far below zero and we've got some work to do. Yeah, so we've got work to do. But what I want to see, and this is what we don't know, and I keep saying it, is we expected to pull back here. We sold most of our stuff. We sold the calls. We sold the option stuff, cashed those in, and then we sold half of our stock stuff. Because what I would love to see is if we come down like this, and then if we actually come up a little bit more. I don't know if that's going to happen. That's why we have to be prepared for kind of either scenario. But I'd like to see if that happens. Yeah, so Yashen, I tend to watch this one. Let me see. Let's see. Is it over here? Yeah, that thing. So yeah, watching these things. I find these a little bit tricky, honestly. I find it a little bit tricky. All right, guys. Well, for those of you on the social medias out there, yeah, you got to actually see kind of live in action what we do and how we check this out and what we were watching, and stepped right into a live trade with us this morning and kind of what our path is. And so far, that's been working out as expected. Yeah, doing pretty well. And then just remember, guys, come on over simplertrading.com/duel, free webinar today. We'll be talking about a bunch of things, this overall market, how we're doing with it, and kind of more of what I think is happening here. And more than just kind of talk about live charts like this, I could actually have a presentation where I show you a bunch of curated stuff that I've put together with a lot of descriptions and, showing you kind of what we've been up to. So come check it out, simplertrading.com/duel. And for the rest of you guys, I'll see you later for the Moxie room. I'll be back with you guys. I'm pretty sure I am on the mic at 11 o'clock my time, 1 o'clock central. I'll be back here in the central room and the Moxie room. All right, guys.